Hello everyone and welcome back to Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Now we'll be continuing into the prison southern block, which is quite possibly... It's not as bad as the northern block, but it's still really bad for having tons of monsters and also being a complete maze. I mean, the southern block is just one big circle that tricks you into thinking it's a maze. But the enemies are still plentiful. And in the prison block, as you can hear, there are still creatures about, gatherers. I presume Alexander has sent them down here to get rid of any surviving prisoners that have been left behind. It's also entirely possible that it's within Daniel's mind and there is actually nothing there. Or perhaps it's a memory Daniel is having. Whatever the case, it's terrifying. I wouldn't go too close to that door if I was you. I'll be showing you why in just a moment. There is lots of crying in the prison areas and areas like this, but I'm inclined to believe that these sounds are, in fact, not real, because no matter how hard you look, you'll never see anyone. However, it's also entirely possible they're behind these locked doors that you'll never be able to access, like this one right here, and I'm about to show you why you shouldn't get too close. Okay. So what I said was immediately confirmed by this guy right here. That is the Brute. He's way stronger than the Grunt, and I just used all of my oil. He's way stronger than the Grunt, possibly even faster. He's a huge threat. And he just slammed someone up against that door, so there are in fact people here. Now be careful going up these stairs, because once you reach a certain point, the Grunt. Now, I'm not going to try and sneak past him, I'm going to play it safe. Last episode had enough encounters with death, or sorry, the episode previous to the last episode. The second episode had enough encounters with death. I don't want a repeat of that. Once you feel like enough time has passed, I would just follow the Grunt. He's, I very much doubt you'll hear me. It's entirely possible that Daniel's about to pass out. I'm gonna see if I can see him disappear. No! Okay. This is a severe lapse in judgment, a humongous problem. This will not be easily rectified. I left... My heart is pounding in my chest, and I'm not even kidding. I have my hand up against it right now, and it's moving. I'm like a Looney Tunes character right now. No, scratch that. I am full stop a Looney Tunes character. these close calls are getting too much. If I die, it's all the way back to the beginning. And I don't want to go through that stress, that effort. I got out of it somehow though, because I'm extremely lucky. I'm sorry if my voice was too high there, I kid you not. I am stressed out. You know when the cartoon characters in Looney Tunes, their eyes bulge out of their heads and go forward and it's like screaming sounds and stuff? Yeah, that was me in that moment. I swear to you, they usually just disappear. I don't know. I guess if you're looking directly at them, they won't go into the next area. You have to be avoiding them for them to leave. You learn something new every day. But some things I really wish I didn't have to learn the hard way. I got out of that alive and I really don't know how. Pure luck. And in that room, Laudanum. And also the Shadow's Deathly Hallow, or Cry. Yeah, me too, Daniel, me too. A few cuts and bruises off of that. Also, to give you an idea for how deadly the brute is. If that was a brute, I'd probably be dead. He really can kill you in one hit. If the brute would have hit me right now, I'd probably be dead. Oh! That was someone else being chased. Not me. But it did drain my sanity, so that's not great. I didn't know that happened. Again, you learn something new every day. That habit of closing doors behind me is really gonna bite me one of these days.
But Mother, I don't want to leave without you.
Hurry, child. You must go. Find Gabriel, the Outrider, and tell him to alert the King's men.
No, you come too.
Please, we don't have time to make the hole any wider.
But
Someone is coming. Hurry! I'll cover the hole with a bed. Everything will be fine. I promise you.
That's rough. Very screwed up. And I do wonder if... I understand Alexander's doing all this for someone else, but I do wonder if he's pondered the fact that maybe the person he's doing all this for isn't gonna be so pleased with his actions unless he just plans never to inform anyone of it, which, to be honest, makes sense. I should have automatically gone with that. So times like this, I really kick myself for not having enough lantern oil. Daniel has a remarkable will to just let these things crawl over his face. That, oh, he's so out of it, he just doesn't care.
Where is she? Where did she go?
No! I won't tell! I'll never tell you!
You're just making things worse. Look, this is no place for a young girl all by herself. She could be hurt or worse. There's no telling what horrors await down there.
Isn't the end goal to kill these people? So I do wonder why past Daniel cared so much about the dangers downstairs. Who knows? Well, I'll probably know by the end of this. I love it. I love that sanity thing. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I got it 2 times in a row. I'm feeling good. Ugh. You know, every skull in this game has the jaw missing. I wonder if that means anything. Is that all that was in this room? There's a little bit of oil? Is that a jet engine? That's impossible. I don't even think that in this... No, in this time period there was no jet engines. What was that sound? Oh, I left the door closed. My bad. Lovely. That's all the oil I got? Whatever, man. Interesting. I wonder whose perspective this is from. Potentially Daniel's. I imagine it would be Daniel, maybe in one of his rooms or something. Righto, you guys should have, alongside me, 91 tinderbox, 21 oil, 7 laudanum, because remember, I hastily gulped down 3 bottles of this stuff to keep me alive from my reckless actions. I believe it's 14 notes and 11 diaries. Also, while we crawl through these horrible, dark, and presumably cold tunnels, something interesting to think on and keep in mind. In one of Alexander's previous memory capsules, he spoke of mankind, something about not wasted a breath. From where he was from, mankind had not wasted a breath, something like that. That's interesting for a number of reasons. One, that implies either he is human and where he's from has humanity as well, or he says mankind, which leads me to possibly believe he isn't human and he's speaking of a place he's from that has humans in it as well. So either he is human and he's just, you know, referring to mankind, humankind, and speaking of a different place with different humans, or he isn't human but where he's from also has humans. I don't know, it's worth thinking on, that's for sure. Oh, also this area sucks, by the way. You're about to see why. I may very well lose my life here. And if I die in the game, I will lose my life in this chair in real life.
2nd of August, 1839. I have arrived at the village of Altstadt. It's a haven in the midst of a vast forest and the last stop before my final destination, Castle Brennenburg. It's late in the evening, and the outrider, who has been with the coach since Bremen, advised me to wait until morning before I venture further. I've arranged for a bed at Der Müller, the village's only inn, and am now waiting for the sun to rise. I try to sleep, but as I close my eyes, I see the men who fell victim in London. My fear and shame forces me to witness the same scenes over and over. They are dead because of me.
I find it very interesting. The reaction Agrippa had and Daniel had are very different. Agrippa seemed more relieved than anything that the shadow had taken lives other than him, while Daniel is kicking himself, maybe a bit too much, over lives that were lost, due to him just simply crossing their path. What the heck? What is that? What is that? What are they, what's going on with his feet? Oh no, that's an abomination. That is not a pig. Begone. Ay ay ay, that genuinely scared me. Well, ignoring that, trying to forget about that, let's move on, I suppose. I believe I've gotten everything in this room. You can step outside now, but be careful, you're gonna have to run back in immediately. Actually, I could risk it a bit. I don't know, I really don't want to replay the game up to this point. It would slow down progress so much, but I don't know, think about how cool it would be if it worked. Alright, so to bring you guys up to speed, when you head down the stairs, it will spawn a grunt, which will come from that little light spot there to the right and then up the stairs. He will move in the middle of this room, survey around a bit. You have to hide behind those pigs because he won't go here, and even if he did, he wouldn't see you there. However, what I'm thinking, I grab the box, I crouch down, I bring the box to my face, I head down the stairs, I sit down the stairs by that little dark spot, I put the box in front of my face, I stare on the side, grunt passes me, I go to the light. I don't know, man, I'm feeling it. I think it'll work. It's a bit risky, but if this works, well, it won't do anything for me, but if it works, I'll feel good about it. Why isn't he spawned? I'm scared. Nope, I changed my mind. I can't do it. I'm not brave. Get out of my way. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. I might have risked that if death didn't mean replaying the whole thing again, but I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. I mean, sure, it would be funny to see him walk past me while I have the box in my hand, but it would stop being funny real fast when his 10-inch claw scrapes down from the temple of my forehead all the way to my stomach and splits me open. Okay, that was more graphic than I wanted it to be. Point is, it wouldn't be funny when he killed me. I'll still take this box though. I feel lucky with it. No, I'll get attached. I don't need it. There's nothing over there, I don't think, but it still scared me, and there's something I want to check back here. Okay, I haven't heard that one before. I believe there may be a collectible at the end of this hall. I'm not sure. No, just someone requesting help on the other end. Which, quite frankly, is probably a hallucination. This is what I mean about the maze. No area encapsulates maze more in this game than this entire area. Oh, and it's threatening. It's dangerous. There are enemies everywhere. And also dead people. Naked dead people, which is a lot worse actually. Ew, and they sound gross when you hit them.
don't believe this. Why? I mean, why? What did I do to deserve this? I mean, it can't be. Do I deserve this? It wasn't my fault. Why did he have to go in there? Don't go into burning houses. He should have known better.
Interesting. I doubt we'll ever learn what that was about. Nor do I think we should. I don't think whether these guys have done something wrong or not really matters. Like he was saying, what did I do to deserve this? You shouldn't have to go through this whether you arguably deserve it or not. It's just wrong to put someone through this at all. Oh yeah, I've already been in here. Naked person almost scared me again. Oh no! No, no, no! Nope. I can change. No, I can fix this. I can fix this with the word I'm looking for. No! No! Rather than Daniel's amazing voice actor, you'll just have to deal with me. 3rd of August, 1839. I feel like I have fled the world and all its worries. Brennenburg is a majestic creation perched upon a forest-clad hill with towers reaching well above even the highest pine trees. Following the winding road led me to the gates. Following the winding road leading to the gates gives the impression of discovering something forgotten, as if journeying with Marco Polo to the hidden Xanadu. Alexander the Baron is a peculiar but gracious man. He seems well versed in worldly matters, and is not at all as eccentric as I assumed. My room is exquisite, and I am confident that no hotel for miles could even hope to match it. As the sun sets on Brennenburg, its fairy tale varnish turns to an eerie gloom. Alexander's strange servants are never far away. They are a quiet lot, and their behavior could only be described as skulking. Alexander seems pleased by my presence. As he puts it, it seems like I got here just in time. I am so sorry, guys. I clicked extra. For some reason, my hands were just really clicky. I think I'm nervous because I know what's coming up. Tried to close it quietly, but Daniel only knows one way to close doors: extremely loudly. Isn't this boring, guys? Just sitting here waiting for the monster to go away. I mean, he's not even gonna try and come through here. So you stare at a wall for ages. I'm playing with shackles, I'm so bored. Which is why I go around and I mess with them. Even if it means my life, but you know, being risky isn't all that's about. I'm sure this, you know, it has lots of atmosphere. You're like, oh, I hope he doesn't come in this room, and you're scared and stuff. I get it, but I know he's not going to come in this room. You only get that feeling when you think they're going to come in the room.
Is he safe? Well, it's for his own good.
I wonder why I can hear Alexander. He's obviously not trying to speak with me. Also, I'm not sure if you heard that, but the microphone just smacked me in the face because I went to itch my head. I have a really complicated microphone setup.
Be ready. Let there be enough time.
Splendid. I always feel like I'm lost in this place.
Hey, you! Stop!
Don't come any closer. I just want to leave.
You can't go outside. It's too dangerous.
I'm telling Gabriel.
I doubt that very much.
He escaped? Where is he now?
Daniel, you villainous scoundrel. I bet it's actually much more dangerous inside rather than outside. For one thing, you're in the castle, Daniel. And that is too. That is as well. Might be able to get away with following this guy. Did I pick up the tinderbox that was here? There was a tinderbox that was here, I swear there was. I must have just picked it up in a panic. I can't see anything, is he there? Oh, he bucked it years ago. Walk backwards. You're still going in good pace and, you know, you're not going insane. I think at this rate I can just walk. I think I should be okay now. Lots of I thinks. And you know, when you could be restarting the entire game, I think is not really something you want to be saying, you know? Where is this guy? And why won't he go away? I still hear the music. Is he in the darkness? About time. Oh no. Oh no. You don't have to worry about that special... Do you? No, I don't think you do. You don't have to worry about that special little guy yet. Okay, no skipping any important dialogue now.
4th of August, 1839. The nightmares woke me in the early morning, and for a moment I forgot where I was. Shortly after, there was a knock on my door. Alexander had heard my screams and asked me to join him in the parlor. As we drank our tea, Alexander began to tell me what he knew. It seems like the orb I found casts a long and dark shadow. It's not only a powerful item, but a dangerous one. Simply by touching it, you invoke the powers within, and if you are too weak to control it, it will devour you. The shadow is a sluggish thing, lagging behind the wielder, killing anyone or anything in its path to reclaim the orb. I said I didn't care about its powers, and that I should throw it away. Alexander advised against this, as I'd still be a part of the path to the orb, and eventually suffer death. Having the orb, I would at least have the chance to fight back when the time came. I asked Alexander what he meant when he said he could protect me, and he answered that things can be done, but at a price.
I feel like Alexander is, well, he's obviously using Daniel, but I also feel like he's telling partial truths. When Agrippa took the orb and the shadow caught up with him, it simply took the orb from him and threw him away, essentially. So he may be lying about the whole if it finds you, it kills you thing. And also... I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm sure it'll come to me. There was something else about the note, but I can't remember it. More importantly than that though, there's a grunt in there. However, as you can see, I've got very shaky vision, so normally what I do is I open that door and then I run away. But if I open that door and then pass out from the scare of the grunt being there, then I'll just die. So I'm not gonna do that. But I do have to go in there anyways, so I'll go back there later. I was hoping that would give me some sanity since it was progress, but nope, I'll have to wait till later for that. Nice. I don't do that enough. The physics in this game are really fun to play with, and I just... You know, I'm too clinical with it. I should be having more fun with these things. Fun's worn off, to be honest. Also, something interesting to note, the more crazy you are, the more easier it is to adjust to the darkness. And the harder it is to stay in the light. I don't know... I don't know exactly why that is, but that's a thing. Oh yeah, also something else about that note, I'm not exactly sure what constitutes as a strong enough mind. Why is that door open? Was that guy chilling there, the grunt that was in that room? Must have been. Well, alright then. Hot dog. Click your heels. Get excited. This is good. Don't have to worry about this anymore.
Find her!
It's interesting that Daniel says that. The girl has unfortunately been dealt with already, and I know he's saying that because he's, you know, not about as cuckoo crazy, but even so, I wonder what she did to constitute so much. I don't know, he seems so angry about her escaping, and I don't know why. Have I been here? Oh yeah, naked guy. I've been here. That means I need to head this way. Oh, that's nice. A little bit of speed for once. I'm thinking I might redeem myself, because I know the grunt spawns here again. And there's still boxes to use, so... He spawns much faster than I thought. Okay. Alright, think. Do I do this? For the content? I really don't want to die. That would be so unfortunate. It's not worth it. It isn't worth it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not gonna work. You know, that was a mistake. It wasn't going to work anyways. It never would have... It's all fucks. It never would have worked. I'm sorry and I love you. Platonically. He's ugly. No. Look. Why was he looking at me? Does he know I'm here? How does he not know I'm here? I'm basking in the light. Did I even get the acid? My memory loss is so bad, I'm so scared. Shh. Well, that was easy. It was unthreatening. I mean, he's not that ugly. I was just being a bit mean because I was scared. You know, perhaps my true self is actually that of a huge bully. As is typical of this area, I don't remember where I need to go. Ah, splendid. Brilliant. Why are you upset? You upset about what I said earlier? Chicken. Ugly. Big ugly man. Ugly man. Yeah, he's not coming. He just pretends to be a threat. Hey, that is a great way of putting it. I like that. Righto, everyone. So you should have 25 oil, 8 laudanum, 103 tinderbox, and 14 notes, 14 diaries. Great stuff. Now let's move on.
So you used the drain sewers as a means of transport?
Yes, they were built to divert water from an underground spring and are quite spacious. It seemed only natural to incorporate it into the overall structure.
But we won't be using it.
Not today. The flow is seasonal, and when the spring runs dry, the damp tunnels produce a rather poisonous type of fungi. There is an antidote, of course, but we won't be bothering with it today. Come, this way instead. We're almost there.
Interesting, as usual. I would like to say, while this is quiet, that I apologize if throughout this series I haven't been articulating myself very well. That is, I know that's something that will come with time, and I can't expect it immediately. But I'm sure excited for the day when I'm able to. Pulling those won't work because you need to fix the machinery in the control room before either of those will go down. I mean, you can if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's better to do the machinery first. So even Alexander didn't understand the orbs. That is, again, very interesting. That further adds merit to my theory that Alexander is telling partial truths. and simply just I mean, obviously he's using Daniel, but he's telling partial truths to do it as well. Heck, some of it might even be things that he believes to be full truths, but because he doesn't understand it, they are not. This tells you the exact positions that the, whatever you would call these things, the weights, I guess, it tells you the exact positions these things need to be in the room over there. However, I'll show you a neat trick so you don't have to keep going back and forth. Also, I'd throw this over there in advance. And this one too. So, while you're spinning the wheel, you should hear a click at some point. Like that. Stop once you hear it. And boom, puzzle solved. So far, none of these puzzles prove challenging. This door won't stay open, so quickly throw them in. Same rule as this one. The next room over there will tell you what order those levers shall be pulled in. However, I think I might just remember it. Yeah.
Daniel, is that you? What are you doing?
Oh, 1799. That is not that far away from the current timeline. The work I have put into this machine is unequaled by the reasoning of any man. The thought that generations of men have passed away since I first attempted to reconstruct the design is most tiring. The limitations of this world have made my work incredibly difficult. It has forced me to build the thing almost 100 times larger than the delicate contraption it tries to emulate. Not to mention the flow of tamed lightning crudely replaced by pressured steam pushing its way through pipes and turbines. Shames me to think of what the inventor would have thought of my monster. Where he works with a magnifying glass to carefully fix all the parts, I push 5 men to erect a tower of raw iron in the hope it will have even the tiniest hint of power found in a traveler's locket. Very interesting. Something to think on as well. Alexander may not be human because of his really long life, but also it is very clear that he comes from a place with exceptional technological advances. Perhaps these humans in this other place have discovered a way to extend their lifespan through technology, and Alexander is just one of those people. Also interesting, he speaks of an inventor. This puzzle, embarrassingly enough, I might... when was a box here? Anyways, this puzzle, embarrassingly enough, I might have trouble with. I know the long one goes in the middle. I think this is the short one with really short legs. I think that one goes on the side. Short one with slightly longer legs goes in the middle. Yes! I mean, I just acted like I solved a Rubik's Cube. That was really simple though. I will try and escape and... Oh no, it's every claustrophobic person's nightmare. However, that's why we got this earlier. There's another way you can do this. When you open the door from the other side before you even come in here, if you place like a box like this underneath it, then it should stop the, like, place 2 or 3 boxes underneath it, then you should still be able to crouch under it, as it will never have closed. I should have done that, that would have been fun. But anyways, another thing to keep in mind, when you put this crank on, don't immediately try to open it. I've done that many times before and it locks you in this room. The crank just stops working and you'd have to replay the control room again. Yeah, when it's doing that spinning animation, don't touch it. Oh my goodness. The chair standing up, I forgot I did that. It scared me so much. I thought it was an enemy. Very interesting again. It seems you're not really supposed to go into that blue light. Makes me wonder what it might have done to Daniel when he first went in the blue light. But with that aside, let's move on to the next area. It would help if I brung the levers down. Oh! Yeah, because nothing goes well for Daniel. One of them has to be blocked, but don't worry, it's an easy fix. 360 ladder grab. That could have gone better. Grab a rock from downstairs here, any rock you want. Or down the ladder here, I should say. Daniel probably wishes there were stairs at this point, to be honest. Problem solved. Now, you have an interesting choice here. If you were to go to the cistern first, there would be no Kernick / water monster and no shadow. However, if you go to the morgue first, then the cistern, it would spawn a Kernick and a shadow in this room. So obviously, we should do the cistern first, not the morgue. Unless we want to make things extremely difficult for ourselves, then we would do the morgue first. Which is why I'm going to do the morgue first. Vitae, whatever that is, seems to be this brain energy that people emit and other living things emit when in immense pain and suffering.
Do you see, Daniel? It has yielded.
What?
The shadow.
It has?
For now. Come, let's get this out of here so we can get some peace.
Yes, let's. Where to?
Just down the corridor, to the morgue.
Are there more dead men there?
You did well, Daniel. Come, let's get going.
I wonder if there would be another way to extract Vitae outside of just... Oh, seems I never get to speak.
What? What happened? Why are all these dead? Where am I? What's happening? Help! Anybody! Help!
Yeah, I feel like I wish there was another way to extract it, but I don't think there is. At that point, if there is no... Okay.
3 days now. This is ridiculous. Why doesn't someone come to this room? Hey! Anybody? Am I all alone here? Help! Help! I'm so tired. If I sleep, will I wake from this nightmare? If not, I pray my Heavenly Father will take me in my sleep.
See, this guy's just emphasizing my point. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I wish there was another way to extract it. And I feel like if there isn't another way to extract it, then there is essentially no way to extract it. This is not worth it. No matter what, this is not worth it. I mean, Alexander himself clearly does not know that much about the orbs. Surely, there is another way to utilize the orbs in a way that avoids all of this.
She deserved it, that little bitch.
You know, I like to consider myself pretty clean without any swears, but Daniel just single-handedly slapped all over that. It's very interesting to hear Daniel say that. I feel like there are things I want to say about it. His character does feel like it has two sides to it. Not that I'm implying he has more than one personality or anything that literal, but there's a very innocent, shaky Daniel that I'm more used to, but there's also another Daniel I'm starting to notice that is very anger driven. He's prone to violence, and I believe the violence he suffered through in his childhood, just violence everywhere in life, has contributed to this a lot. Oh great, more things for me to read. The strange deaths among the servants and the prisoners have finally been resolved. It seems that the drain sewer, which has recently been opened for use as a means of transport, is plagued by a peculiar poisonous fungi. The victims seem to have suffered an extremely quick outbreak of sickness affecting the entire body. Some of my men, including myself, are blissfully spared by this calamity, but it is clear that this cripples my progress. The prisoners die quickly, and their contaminated vitae lacks the energy I seek. I shall immediately start working on a vaccine. Whatever Alexander is, he's clearly susceptible to disease as well. As he says that he was spared by it, I feel like this implies there is a possibility it could have got to him too and killed him. So I wouldn't call him immortal. I might not even call him eternal, just long-lasting. I don't think I've gotten confirmation that he's eternal or confirmation that he's immortal. Which further leads to the idea that he may just be a human that comes from an extremely advanced area or time or dimension or whatever. Whatever technology he had there has extended his life. Awesome. Great, more reading. The vaccine enabling my men to work in the fungi-ridden sewer is a definite success. Unfortunately, only a few of the servants have been remedied as the procedure proved difficult. The others will perish, and eventually I will have to create more of them to keep my experiments running. Note that an injection of vaccinated blood will work as a shield long enough to pass the sewers without any risk of infection. It will do fine for prisoner transport. Something interesting to note here, the servants so far, judging by Daniel's description of them, I'm guessing are the gatherers, and I'm guessing that while Daniel was there, Alexander made them wear something that obscured their appearance. But either way, the servants definitely seem to be the gatherers. And if that's the case, the others will perish. This leads me to believe that the gatherers are killable. Perhaps if Daniel wielded, like if this was... I'm not sure when guns were invented, but I feel like they would have been around at this time. And if they were around at this time, they would have been exceptionally hard to get a hold of. And very primitive too, but... Even, no, I'm pretty sure gunpowder was discovered in the 16th century, but... My ignorance of history aside, guns should kill them. And if not guns, then other forms of weaponry should kill them too, even just a sword. I feel like they have augmented strength. And they are a lot more sturdy, of course, but they are killable, maybe even by infection. That's just something to keep in mind, maybe for Daniel, maybe ways he could have killed them before they killed him. But to be fair on Daniel, they do also seem to be very strong. It wouldn't be easy to kill them even if you did have a weapon. Whoa, naked guy on the table, didn't even see that guy. More reading. I fear for Daniel, for he is reckless. He is tainted by the approaching shadow and will not be able to pass the gate. Will he be able to accept this in the end? My love, I've seen evil in him. How am I to trust him with the truth? What cruel irony that I have to do unto him what Agrippa did unto me. It's interesting that Alexander sees evil in Daniel, but he doesn't seem to see evil in himself. Which is often the terrifying thing about evil, is you justify yourself and you don't see yourself as evil. Daniel, I would say, is definitely evil given all he's done. And Alexander, I would most certainly say, is evil. No matter what his reason is, they've both done truly terrible things. And I feel like this is why Agrippa did not let him pass through the gate. And yes, as Alexander said, it is okay. It is cruel irony that he has to do the same to Daniel for the exact same reason, presumably. Did I get everything in these drawers?
Are you breathing, Daniel? Do you hear me? Have you changed your mind?
Why are there so many dead people? Oh, it's a morgue, of course. Get this chair on my face. Righto. This is gonna get pretty unpleasant. I mean, why the head? Why not like the arm or something? Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Either way, this feels really gross. inject the blood, so that's what he was doing. Oh yeah, of course, like the note stated. That is... ugh, worth it, I guess. I had to choose the area filled with water. And dead people. Well, they both had dead people. And this is the brute. This makes everything worse. Why did I sound like Daniel when I screamed, by the way? He wouldn't come in this room. He has no reason to. He didn't hear me come in here. He wouldn't. Would he? I don't think so. I think it's safe now. Something else to note as well before I move on. Alexander, for all his evil, he does have a reason to be doing all this, a reason for he's doing this for somebody else, not himself. And I suppose in a sense it is for himself, but in the end he's doing it because he wants to see someone else. He has somewhat, I don't know, it's hard to find the word for it, but he has not noble, but also not a good reason, but and it is still selfish because it's because he wants to see his love, as he says. This is why he wants to do it, but it is a better reason than Daniel's for all the cruelty he's exacted upon other people. And his reasons are entirely selfish. You know, he's scared of the shadow coming to kill him. And I think it's interesting because Agrippa felt relief when those people were hurt. He felt he'd been spared. And yet, Agrippa didn't seem to do any of this and also wouldn't do any of this by the sounds of it. But Daniel, who was wrecked by horrible guilt, by the shadow killing those people, he's totally fine with doing this, torture and killing other people for just so the shadow leaves him alone, so he can live a little longer. Very, very selfish, and also very, very contradictory to his guilt from before. And while I have no evidence for it right now, I feel like he's doing this not because he wants the shadow to leave him alone. I feel like that's his excuse. That's what he uses to justify himself. Well, he uses a lot of things to justify himself, I imagine, but that's one of the things he would use to justify himself. I feel like he enjoys it, like, legitimately he enjoys the pain he causes other people. And he enjoys the violence. And against his better judgment when he got here, I don't know, he seemed to just want to indulge in his darker wishes. But I don't know, I'll see how the story unfolds some more, but Daniel, he doesn't seem to be so much of a stand-up guy. Now we can head to the cistern, which is a massive mistake considering the order that I've chosen to do this in. And I will also be leaving it here. Thank you so much for watching this video if you were able to watch the whole thing. I look forward to next time. I had a lot of fun with this video. I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else to say say, I think I was going to round up with collectibles, but I'll just do that at the start of the next video. If I may find something amiss, I'll show you at the beginning of the next one. Thank you so much again. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.